Hi, it's Marina checking in. How are you doing right now? Are you scared and worried and feeling like your deepest, biggest fears are big right now? This is you. A lot of people are feeling this in the collective, and I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it. I want to share a really brilliant thing that you can do for it. And I want to share how I'm dealing with it as well, because I just feel like there's this feeling in the air. So, if your biggest fears are coming up and they're actually being realized, like your biggest fear is being realized, maybe it's about money, maybe it's about relationships, maybe it's about something to do with the structure of your life, and it's actually happening in real time. I'm going to put it to you that you've probably on, off, worried about this your whole life anyway. Just now, it seems especially loud, and it feels like it's kind of like in your face. You can't get rid of it. Or you might find that you are massively catastrophizing about what you think might happen. And either way, you're waking up at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, you cannot get back to sleep, or you're just more stressed than usual. And maybe you're hiding this from people, right? Normally you'd share stuff, but you're like, you know what, I'm going to get through it. But it feels like a lot. If you are dealing with your biggest, deepest fear and it feels like this issue is immovable. It's like a big, immovable mountain to get through, to climb. I want you to remember and to know that this isn't bigger than you, even though it feels like it. The reason it feels bigger than you is just because you've got a lot of your trapped power in it. Once you take your power back, you're going to feel bigger than it, no matter what it is. And, if you're anything like me, you've had your fair share of big things to deal with. So, all this to say, when, you know, I've been in these situations many, many times where you're in a wobble, you're wobbling, maybe you don't have anybody around you, you don't have a cushion around you. You don't have family around you, you don't have friends around you, or you don't have people that you can lean on. And maybe they historically they lean on you, right? Which I think a lot of light workers have this situation. For me personally, where I've been on my own a lot, one of the things that I always do in a wobble is I get really determined. So you can have two things at the same time. You can be scared and determined. You can feel kind of bamboozled like a deer in the headlights, and you can take action. Like two things can be true. And so one of the things that I do is I lean in, I make a decision, I decide, I go, you know what? This is happening right now. I'm going to make a decision. And every time I do, I take my power back. And so I'm going to put it to you that if you are worrying about something, have you decided? Have you decided how it's going to go? Because anytime you're giving your power away to a situation, there's that catastrophizing, there's that really strong inevitability that it's going to go wrong, it's going to go bad, it's going to go their way. But actually, you get to have your power in this situation. You get to take your power back and you get to say how it goes. And you can make that decision many, many times a day if you forget it. And every time I do that, I go, oh my God, I've got power in this situation. Even if sometimes we don't have a lot of power, there's always leeway. There's always a little bit of power. There's always something we can go, 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 go. And every time I decide, guess what? I get bigger. I get bigger again. That situation, that worry gets smaller again. I think if you are somebody who grew up in a narcissistic or a toxic household, you will be very used to catastrophes happening because when you were a kid, you weren't in control. And so now, when a situation comes up, instead of deciding how it's going to be, deciding how you want it to be, you can slip back into that old little version of you that was like, all right, I was going to like break for cover because a catastrophe is going to happen. But if you are in charge of yourself now, you've got this power, you've got this space to decide. And so for me, when I've gone through these things, I always like lean in and I make the decision. I lean in and I take the actions and I keep going and I keep going and I keep going. And if you keep going, regardless of the wobble, regardless of how scared you feel, regardless of how big it feels, if you keep taking the actions, regardless, eventually you start to rise. Eventually, and you work on your energy, you work on your emotional frequency and your beautiful energy, right? And you just do it. Don't have to do it perfectly. We're not in that perfect world, not doing any of that, but you just do it enough, you'll start to change the outside world. And that is how I keep an independent vibration from the rest of the world. I literally decide, I lean in, I take the actions, I keep cultivating my energy so that eventually I'm a match for what I want. I'm a match for that timeline that I know I'm meant to be on. So just know that you can take your power back right now. And maybe nothing changes but how you feel. But that's the start of it, right? Because how you feel is everything. And the more you take your power back through deciding many, many times a day, and if you forget, you just redecide. You go, you know what? I'm going to do this again. This is how it's going to be. And you keep, and in line with your higher self, this or something higher, keep deciding, keep bringing your power back. You'll get there. You will get there. So this is how you climb out of that mountain. And I have to say, I think a lot of people are going through this. It's almost like a mini dark night of the soul, where our deepest shadows and fears are being shown to us, literally, so we can expand beyond them. If you want more of this, I've just opened up actually a brand new community called the Rise Room. And it's a monthly community where we're doing exactly this, where we're focusing on our actions, our energetics, but we're also more like a family. Because I think for a lot of light workers, one of the biggest things is being on your own too much and not having highly sensitive women who are actually doing the work. And when you're around people that are actually doing the work, you don't need to explain yourself, you don't need to defend yourself. You're just free to be fully you. Because for a lot of women, I tend to think if you're not being supported emotionally at home, and you can't fully just say the thing without people going, oh my God, then when do you ever get to be fully you? This is that space. I'll put the link below and you can check it out, see if it's for you. And I just want to finish off by saying, you are so powerful. You have way more powerful than any situation that currently has it over you right now. And all this situation is showing you is your untapped power. It is literally showing you your own power reflected back to you. So you have this power right now as you're listening to me to go, you know what? Yeah, fuck it. I'm taking it back. I'm taking it back. I am going to decide. And I'll tell you what, this has saved me so many times from really giving my power away to actually creating the life that I want. We all have that power. So lots of love to you, and I hope this helps.